This is my Zeiss Ikon Voigtlander Icarex 35S BM. The BM means bayonet mount. And this is actually one of my favorite cameras because it's so solid and it's just utilitarian. It's just a nice overall camera. It's a little heavy, but the features on it are it's just very cool. So I'll show it to you. So Zeiss Ikon and Voigtlander, the German camera companies that bought, sold, merged, split. It was in between one of these things. Not too many products were made that were Zeiss Ikon and Voigtlander. They were separate for quite some time, and so this is one of the things that they did. So here we have the self-timer, and I'm always leery of self-timers on older cameras because they tend to get stuck and then you have all sorts of problems. So I usually don't play with it. This bayonet mount, I'm going to unscrew the camera lens, and here's the lens, and this is the lens that came on it. This is the 50mm 2.8, and on the lens itself actually has aperture control. And this little doodad here, you can actually see that once you set the aperture, you take the picture, it will do that, but you can preview it here, and this little button here will preview it. It will push the little thing in, and there's the mirror, the glass. So this is of course a rangefinder. Put this back on, line up the red dot, but if you mess with it, there we go, it just screws on and then you just tighten it. So there's the little preview for it. It sticks a little bit, but it's not the end of the world. And there you can see I'm changing the aperture, and the aperture goes from 2.8 to 16, and it is a sort of a screw lens cap. I always tend to put it on backwards. There we go, sort of upright. So on the back of it there is a rubber shield for your eye, and it's still in pretty good shape. And if you look at it, it says West Germany on it. So you can push it and pull it, and I haven't tried to take it off. I didn't want to mess it up. Here on top you set what film you have. Really this doesn't do anything. I don't think it does. I mean it might. I mean especially for flash. But I don't know what this. Usually these dials on the top. Usually it's just a reference, like for what type of film you're using, or that's pretty much it on older cameras. But I feel it. It may be doing something. There's IR mode for infrared film. We have black and white. We have negative. We have bulb, we have sun, and then here we have a little light meter, and this light meter, it is powered by a battery, and the battery you can remove it. Let me get this little plastic, there we go, put the battery in there, and it takes I believe it takes one of the older batteries, and I think I have one. A lot of these take these older batteries. You have to specially order them. The 65A, I think this might be it. That might be too big. Yeah, that's too big. Oh, that might be it. Let's see. Yeah, it's let's see if it's working. I don't see it working. Maybe it's, I'll have to play around with it, but I think this is the battery that it takes. I'll look at that later. So on top we have the shutter release. We have a little dial here to select the film speed. We have DIN and ASA. And we have the shuttercock. And here we can set the speed with this little dial. And it goes all the way to 1000. So we have bulb mode 2, 4, 8, 15, 30, 60, 125, 250, 500, and 1000. And to cock this, you pull all the way up there, and you can push that back. Let's open the camera. So with this one, we'll just pop this up, pops the door open. I do not have film in here. The inside of this camera is amazingly clean. I mean, it's beautiful. It has a fabric screen there, and it's one that sort of rotates. We'll watch it. I'm going to put it in bulb mode. Turn this little dial here so I can keep the shutter open. Here you can see in the camera. It's very responsive. It's pretty solidly built. There's the uptake there. And I'll just snap that back. This does get in the way when you try to open and close it. Now here, this little window here, I believe it tells you if there's film in the camera, and the counter is there. But since, you know, I don't have any film in there, the numbers aren't appearing. And it's a little cloudy there because the plastic is aged. The other thing, if you look in the camera, let me open it up a bit so we can see. We have a light meter, and if you look at the very top, let's see if we can see it. So we have the ground glass there, and it's really hard to see, but at the very top, it's very faint. You see the aperture, so you can see the aperture, and then there's the light meter. So we have the light meter in there, and moving it around, it is working. So I guess the battery, it's there. I think here's the little green dial. It is moving, so that opens it up. I had it closed. You close it, it goes back to the middle. I guess so. It's almost like it's calibrated. So I click that, and it says, "Hey, you need to adjust things because it's too wide open." And we have a cold flash mount there, and we have, let's see, this plasticky, pebbly, grippy stuff that's in great shape. Made in Germany, and we have a sort of a plastic thing, which is nice because it saves the bottom from getting scratched for your tripod. And we have the rewind button to release the film, so you can actually rewind it with a little rewinder. And this is actually the little guy here is It feels sort of plastic. I think it is plastic. It's not metal, which is sort of, yeah, it's not the best, but oh, but you can push this in to sort of streamline the camera, so you put it back in its case. And I have the original case that it came with. It has the lovely Zeiss Ikon Voigtlander metal stamp there. The case is not leather except for the straps, and this, it had elastic on top, but the elastic sort of, it's gotten old. It doesn't give as much, but it still is a good camera case. The top, this part here, and the bottom are leather. The others are plastic, and there's a little tiny piece of plastic here that kind of gets in the camera and makes it kind of gets under the kind of stabilizes it, gets under the lever when you cock it, and it snaps. The strap is in really good shape. It's not. It's probably, I could probably rip it. These always tend to get dry rotted very quickly, but it's still usable if you just are gentle with it. And I usually label my cameras. This is the 35S because, you know, I just look it up. And the year this was made, this was made, shoot, I forget. It's not too old, but it's a very solid camera, and it's very usable. I mean, I'm surprised how usable this little camera is, and responsive, and it's a little tank. It's a good camera. I got this one on eBay. They usually sell for around anywhere from, I've seen them as low as $70 on up to $300, depending on the lenses, and there's even a black one that is very nice. The black model is more expensive because not that many were made, but this camera, I'd say it's over a pound. It's solid, but you could probably drop it and it would keep going. It's just a pretty utilitarian camera. Anyway, that's my Zeiss Ikon Voigtlander Icarex 35S bayonet mount.